Hi, I'm MK and welcome to energizers.com. In this video, we're going to talk about an energizer called instructions. And the cool thing about this energizer is that it can be used basically anywhere. No matter if you're at a corporate session, in the conference room, if you're in the classroom, doesn't matter. This little energizer is just really, really nice. Well, let's get to it. So this is a pretty cool energizer. You're gonna love this. All it requires is one simple prop, because you just go to our webpage on energizers.com and download the handout, which is required for this, along with a pen for everyone. So one handout, one pen for everyone, and then you place it face down, so it's you who distribute it face down, so no one can cheat and start before everyone else. You explain that it's a timed assignment, a timed mission, and it's going to take 3 minutes. They'll have 3 minutes to complete it, but obviously it's a competition, so you can complete it before that. It's very important that you engage them in the competition element, and then you simply count down 3, 2, 1, go, and then everyone will flip the page and they will start filling out the page. And this is the kicker, because they will start filling out the instructions. They won't actually follow the instructions, and that's what makes this energizer really, really great. When you set the scene, be sure to tell everyone that this is a competition. It's a timed competition, and that will automatically activate that gene we all have, that we want to win, we want to be first, we want to bask in the glory and raise our hands and says, done it! And that is really one of the key factors for this energizer. So when you set the scene, it's important that everyone knows that this is a competition and that it's under some sort of time pressure. Not really, but they don't know that. So whenever you get ready to do your countdown, people will be excited and ready. They will be, sitting in the seat, ready to flip the paper and fill it out. So these are the instructions. 20 basic things, very easy to do, except they don't have to do them. They just don't really know that, and because they're so engaged in becoming the first one to complete it, they're not really going to do what it says on the sheet. And that's the cool part about this, and this is why you can facilitate on it. This sheet of paper, the first of the things that they have to do is read through the instructions. But no one really ever does that. Well, a few might, but the majority of us don't really read the instructions. And if they do, they will, down here at number 20, they will get told only do 1 and 2, and the rest you can just skip. But because people are so engaged in this, they will say, read it through. Yeah, I'm not going to read the instructions. Come on. The second, write your name at the upper right. Yes, I can do that. And then they will progressively become more and more ridiculous things that they have to do. They have to shout and yell, and they have to do something and say something and call out something. And as these instructions, they progress, you will, in the room, hear people. I'll take an example. They'll say, make a triangle around the headline. They're going to make a triangle around the headline. Say your name out loud. So suddenly someone will shout, Gregory, or Louise, whatever. And you just know that you have them, because if they had just read the instructions from the beginning, they wouldn't even get to these parts. And that's the fun part. And also, those who actually read it, they can just sit back and relax and enjoy how people are making complete fools out of themselves in a good way. We're not putting anyone on the spot, because the majority will be the fools. So yeah, I guess it's all right. For the facilitation part, there are a lot of things that you can talk about here. Basically, this is about how well do we actually follow instructions, and why are we so quick to jump into doing and completing tasks without actually knowing what the task is. And you've probably all seen this or heard this or done this yourself. You start something and suddenly, you realize, wait a second, that was not the task at hand. This was the task at hand. But because you didn't really pay attention when they instructed you, you didn't actually read the instructions, well, then you kind of waste your time doing completely irrelevant things. We also, a good example is, it says in any good manual, doesn't matter if it's a TV, a video camera, whatever, read the instructions. Right. Whoever reads the instructions? No one reads the instructions. You just get on with it. Start, assembling things, and when it doesn't work, that's when you read the instructions. The problem is, how much influence does this actually have on our everyday? If you want to draw some parallels, how much influence does it have on projects and communication between colleagues or classmates? How much does this really impact our everyday, that we don't really pay attention to the instructions? We just go out there and start doing. If you're using this in the classroom, you've stumbled across a great energizer. It doesn't really have any requirements age-wise. You can use it basically in any class as long as they can read. The instructions themselves are really, really simple, all basic, nothing too tricky or complicated. So as long as they can read, they can do this exercise. The thing is, once they have done it, and they will, as the adults, even if they're young adults, everyone will fall into this instructions trap, because they're competitive, they want to win as well. So what you can do is you can have a chat about where does this impact us when we do assignments or tasks or projects. An example, my daughter just started 5th grade, and she came home from the first day of school when she had math, and she said, wow, that's a lot of text for these pretty simple math assignments. And I had a small chat with her, and I said, well, yeah, that's true, but you might want to read the text before you start actually solving the math. And I think this doesn't matter which class it is, if it's any language or math or science or history or what it is. No matter which project you're working on or which task you have to complete, it might be really good to read the instructions first. And I just find this to be an extremely valuable lesson for students, because it really is one of these things where the more you know what you're supposed to do, the better you can actually solve the job. And the grades probably will reflect that as well. And I assume that most of the students that are graded, at least, would like some good grades. This is just a very, very cool way to get the students engaged in that whole, how do we actually approach assignments. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll go out there and use instructions. It's a really fun energizer. People stomping their feet and calling their names and pounding their fist into the table. It's a great, great exercise. Go to our community page on Facebook, upload your experiences, tell us how things went, get some feedback. Hey, if you have a video, upload that, get some feedback on that. And if you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm MK, and I hope you'll enjoy this energizer. And until next time, go out there and win the crowd.